Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by ToughPigs.com. My name is Beth, and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia, and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam, and I had a joke about watching for the first time, but I have a full cup of eggnog, and so I'm just going to take the second instead to thank the Nog Lord for his bountiful blessing.
It is too early for eggnog.
You're wrong.
Okay, this is something we have to talk about off mic. Big Nog keeps pushing eggnog earlier and earlier, and then by the time it gets to Christmas time, there's no eggnog in the grocery stores, and that's when I want my eggnog. Anyway, this is a rant I do every year. We'll talk about it later. I have a lot of feelings. Okay.
If you subscribe to our Patreon, you will get the bonus episode, Adam and Julia's Eggnog Corner.
We'll talk to Joe and Ryan about getting that. Maybe
we can make that happen.
I was going to say,
yes.
yeah, getting that on the ToughPigs Patreon.
A fourth voice. Who on earth could that be?
What? Hi, it's me, Ryan Roe from ToughPigs.
What? Hi, Ryan.
Welcome.
Hi.
Ryan's here.
Thank you so much for having me. I love this podcast.
That is so very kind of you.
That's so sweet. Oh my gosh.
And I do have to say, though, I want to add, I don't know if you even remember having this conversation, but I want to add my vote to the column of I prefer Twizzlers over Red Vines.
Okay.
Wow.
Wild.
Another wrong person. Cool.
Very
That's
wrong,
a go-to snack
but
for
I'm
me.
not alone.
That is your choice.
You can have all of my Twizzlers. I will trade you them for all of your Red Vines.
I'll take them. Yeah, let's do it. That's a good way to approach it. Neither of us are wrong.
Exactly. We get to share.
We have different preferences. Yeah. That's a very
Thank
Fraggle
you.
way to think about it.
Speaking of, we're on a podcast watching, checks notes, Fraggle Rock.
Hey. So this is episode 20 of season 1, called The Garden Plot. It first aired on May 23rd, 1983, written by B.P. Nickel, and directed by George Bloomfield.
The garden plot, I gotta say, I didn't realize until this time when I was actually thinking about it. That's wordplay, because a garden plot is like a plot of land where you grow a garden, and in this episode, the plot concerns the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
It took
yeah.
me this long to figure that out.
Same.
It's taking me to this exact moment to figure that
Yeah,
out.
see? It's layered.
And I immediately thought, well, then that's a slightly misleading title, because they're really being attacked from both sides.
Yeah, it's really not just about the garden, but I guess, somebody came up with that title and they couldn't resist using it.
We'll play on the gunpowder plot.
Oh.
Maybe.
I don't think I know the gunpowder plot, but you're probably right.
Remember the 5th of November? The gunpowder treason and plot?
Oh, is that what they called it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you
I
go.
can think of one reason the gunpowder treason should probably be forgot, and it's libertarianism. Anyways, so this episode has a lot of really interesting starts, I think, because we usually start off with like establishing shots and sort of like conversation, but this one just starts off with like noir music and Gobo like getting ready to make a grab for the traveling Matt postcard. And I appreciated the change of pace.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen that a lot more in recent episodes, where they're really playing with like the starts of episodes, the end of episodes, and just, it's still got a lot of the same format from all of the previous episodes, but also just, I don't know, yeah, changing things up a little bit and just having a bit more fun with it.
They've been out a while now, so yeah, might as well try different things.
Yeah, we're on episode 20, which I can't believe we're so close to the end of season 1.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We get to have our podcast season finale.
Ooh. Should we do anything special for it?
Definitely. We should do at least 2 special things for it.
TBD special things.
What would those be, you ask? I'm going to have a cup of eggnog. That's my special thing.
It's pretty special.
Anyways, so he gets the postcard. No, he doesn't get the postcard the first time. He runs into Sprocket.
He doesn't. I think he accidentally sticks his hand into Sprocket's mouth instead of the wastebasket, which is not the first time in this episode that a character will put their hand in another character's mouth.
Yeah.
It is not.
It's going to happen later.
So Doc comes in and says he needs Sprocket's help, and Sprocket is trying to pantomime something to Doc about what's in that hole, and Doc is trying to guess, like, one word, how many letters?
They're playing charades,
It sounds like, yeah, they're playing charades. And here's the thing. For comedic effect, Doc keeps getting close. Like, oh, stop getting your fur in a frazzle.
Yeah.
Your brain must be getting fragile.
Right. So Sprocket is trying to convey the word Fraggle, though, which maybe you remember because you've been watching all these episodes in order. Has Sprocket been, like, has anybody said to Sprocket, I am a Fraggle, or we are Fraggles?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So he has no way of actually knowing the word.
So Sprocket confirmed somewhat otherworldly.
Here's the only thing I can think might be, if Sprocket's really smart to draw this conclusion, that all of the postcards are addressed to Gobo Fraggle.
Oh, that's right.
And this creature keeps coming in and stealing those postcards.
Yeah, so he's using deductive reasoning.
Yeah.
And we do know Sprocket can read. We've seen Sprocket read.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, Sprocket's smarter than Doc, probably, so.
Clearly.
Yeah.
It's a very Pinky in the Brain situation.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That works on a lot more levels than just the first one, I thought. Ooh. Anyways.
Say more.
Oh, well, just like, you know the whole idea that, like, when they say one is a genius and the other's insane, what they're actually saying is that Brain is insane and Pinky's a genius. Because Brain is the one who keeps trying to take over the world, and Pinky always manages to just perfectly foil his plots and then go actually live life in a way that makes him happy and try to get Brain to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's a subgenre of comedy teams where instead of having a smart one and a dumb one, you have, like, a somewhat dumb one and another dumb one who thinks that he's the smart one. Yeah,
well, you have a smart dumb one and a dumb smart one.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the words that Doc says is, he says, don't get into a gaggle. But that's not what gaggle means. Gaggle is like a flock of geese or just like a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he thinks he's saying there, what he's trying to say, but that's not how I use the word gaggle.
I mean, look, it's important to use big words, even if you don't know what they mean. It's going to make you sound very photosynthesis. So we get some dialogue with Gobo and Red, and it just feels so natural.
Yeah, there's a lot of goading, like, between the two of them, of Red telling him that he's losing his explorer's edge, and then he's trying to, like, goad her into maybe going out into outer space, and she's obviously scared to do it, but she won't admit to it, which we've seen from Red before. And yeah, I agree, it's natural, it's easy. You just, you just buy into it because of, I don't know, the rapport between the puppeteers and the characters is just phenomenal.
That's true, but why did she even accompany him to the whole outer space if she's just gonna be an armchair postcard picker-upper?
I mean, have you ever gone grocery shopping with your friend and then given them guff about their choice of bread or something?
Yeah, I guess that happens.
I feel like Gobo always brings someone with him when he's going. I don't know if he just wants
for moral
backup in
support.
case, because he did get stuck out there one time, so maybe it's just a support line.
It does make sense.
And that's kind of also just how Red is in general, especially at this point still in the show, is she just likes giving folks a hard time and teasing people, teasing Fraggles.
All right.
In this particular one, they're basically playing verbal chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gobo is, oh, well, why don't you come with me? And she's like, oh, no, I couldn't. That's your thing. He's like, no, really, I love the company. Like, they're trying to get the other one to back out first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have this really cute little scene, and then Gobo goes back out and successfully gets the postcard, and Sprocket keeps trying to say, hey, oh, there's something in the hole, and Doc goes, oh, leave that hole alone. You wouldn't fit there anyways. And Sprocket's like, but I can fix that. And so Sprocket uses his opposable thumbs to pick up a hammer and start hammering away at the hole.
Question, is he trying to board up the hole or make the hole bigger so he can go in? At multiple points in the episode, I thought he was doing separate things, and I couldn't actually figure out what he was doing.
My take is that he's trying to make the hole bigger so that he can go in and get a Fraggle as proof.
I think Doc says something like, you can't even fit through that hole. So I think he's trying to like...
That's what I thought initially, and then there was another scene later where I was like, well, maybe he's actually boarding it up because the hole wasn't getting bigger, but it also wasn't getting boarded up. He wasn't doing a good job either way.
I mean, you can only do so much when you're not supposed to have opposable thumbs.
True.
Yeah, he's lucky just to be able to hold a hammer.
Mm-hmm. That's more than most dogs can say.
Also, along with Sprocket trying to demolish the hole, Doc also leaves because he is trying to find the rent money, which I thought was a very Uncle Billy moment of him, where he doesn't know where he put important money, but he leaves and we don't see him again until the end of the episode, where he's still looking for the rent money at that point.
You must pay the rent.
Yeah,
I can't pay the rent.
It is in fact too darn high, but you still got to pay it.
Yeah.
I did it and so this is just a first time thing. I was fully expecting there to be a mix up with the envelopes and for Gobo to have taken the rent.
Oh.
I did too.
Huh.
That's where I thought this episode was
I had
going.
a moment where I thought Gobo was going to open the envelope and be like, what is all of this paper?
My Uncle Traveling Matt isn't a bank. Something's wrong.
Fraggles discover currency. Yeah.
I know that, they wouldn't know what a dollar bill was.
Yep. And Matt has previously discovered coins, but I don't know if he has discovered paper money yet.
Certainly hasn't discovered banking.
Not yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
That's going to be season 5.
Oh.
Matt discovers capitalism.
Speaking of Uncle Matt,
We get the Matt postcard where he's pointing out that silly creatures love rolling stuff around, and there's rollers on everything. And I had 2 notes on this. First off, it seems weird because a couple episodes ago, this is the benefit of me re-listening to our previous episodes, despite not liking the sound of my voice, Wimbley made a joke about inventing the wheel. And so Fraggles know what wheels are, but he's calling all of the wheels rollers. And then the other thing I had in mind was that we've also seen a segment where Matt is speaking to cars and trying to converse with them. And in this segment, it seems like he hasn't had that experience yet. It's just, there's some conflicting things with things we've seen in previous episodes, I felt like.
I mean, I will say, yeah, of course he knows what wheels are. Wembley invented them.
And he doesn't credit Wembley.
How did he address the cars in the previous episode? Was it like...
He was
trying to speak car.
He was trying to speak car, and he was, like, honking back at them.
Oh, okay. So he didn't comment on their rollers in that case.
Not to my knowledge, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He just said that they were, like, cranky beings or something along those lines.
Wow, okay.
But yeah, I will also say, like, after seeing him play the buffoon for so long, it was nice to kind of see him get one right. Like, yeah, we do like rolling around on stuff. It's fun.
That's true.
He's even wearing a fun outfit. He's got a little blue Hawaiian shirt and linen pants and a straw hat.
It made me so happy.
Because he's on the boardwalk.
I want Matt in more random outfits out in the world.
Yes.
I like the look of the dude who gives Matt that skateboard.
Yes.
He's got the long hair, the sunglasses, the hat.
I described him as Carrot Top dressed as Pauly Shore.
Wow.
That's good.
Jesus. You're not wrong.
But yeah, Matt is impressed by all the roller skaters and skateboarders, and he decides to try his hand at skateboarding and mark off the bingo cards because that puppet gets yeeted.
Yeah. Doesn't last
I
long.
love that they decided to do a variant too. It's not just yeet the puppet. It's step 1, tie the puppet to a skateboard. Step 2, yeet the puppet.
Yeah, and he gets like a full aerial loop-de-loo.
Yeah, it looks cool.
And then I just thought it was really sweet that everybody else at the skating rink just like showed up and gathered around him, although they didn't really say anything.
No, they just kind of looked concerned.
Which is a little unsettling, honestly. Like if I fell down and woke up and there were a bunch of concerned people around me being silent, I would not be settled.
It's true. If those actors spoke, they would have to pay them more. So that's always what I think about.
And if they spoke English, they wouldn't be able to recycle this segment in other countries.
That's true.
On the show.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's probably what your first thought would be when you woke up to see all these people surrounding you. Like, oh, they're not talking because it's at the international market.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, that is the kind of thing I think when I wake up from head trauma. Actually,
yeah,
that's a very niche call, but you nailed it. Good job.
This episode has a lot of head trauma in it. I just realized.
Oh,
Talk about that. Yeah,
a lot of trauma in general, I think.
Yeah.
So Red agrees that instead of going into outer space, she's just going to go get a radish.
Yeah, but how does that start? It starts with her telling Gobo that he's fat and he needs to go on a diet and only eat radishes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't a fan of that.
No, that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, not cool, Red.
Who asked you, Red?
Yeah.
Have we... I don't think we've seen any, like, body shaming up to this point, have we?
I don't think so.
Not up to this point.
Huh. I mean, I'm assuming it's an 80s show. There's going to be some more slightly dated, less good humor.
Yeah.
I don't expect all of it to age well, but that one, like, it's just we hadn't. It'd be like if we were watching, unpredictable. It'd be like if you were watching Adventure Time and all of a sudden was like, hey, you're dancing really badly. You're like, what? But we don't do that.
We don't do that here.
You know what, though? In the 80s, like, Saturday morning cartoons or, like... I actually had a friend whose mom wouldn't let him watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon because Shredder was so mean to Bebop and Rocksteady.
Aww.
Just, like, constantly insulting them and calling them idiots. And so, yeah, I guess it's kind of par for the course, but it's still... It's rare for Fraggle Rock, I think.
Yeah.
If anyone ever says we haven't evolved culturally, they're wrong.
We had talked previously about, how we're glad that particular aspect is gone from the reboot, that, the meanness for the sake of, jocularity between friends.
Yeah.
And that popped up recently in my book club was reading A Wrinkle in Time, and then we watched the movie versions. Not just the recent one by Ava DuVernay, but the 2003 version as well.
Ooh, I didn't know that existed.
I did.
It does. It is a wild trip.
It is.
I mean, as is the story in general in any format. But
yes.
I was saying how in the book I really didn't like Calvin because he was calling Meg a moron and telling her to shut up for once and blah, blah, blah. And everyone at the table is looking at me like, apparently they all successfully interpreted that as affectionate teasing. And I went, what?
Yeah. I mean, that's like... I remember being a kid, we don't have to talk about the person who created it, but like my mom would read me Harry Potter and, Ron was so mean to Hermione and my mom would be like, he likes Hermione. And I was like, what? You're so wrong. And of course she wasn't, because that was an acceptable way to flirt when, we were younger.
Yep.
Which
I'm so glad time has passed and culture evolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I did think that it was funny how, the fat shaming and being like, you should be on a diet, not funny. But then Red does tell him no more doozer constructions. From now on, it's strictly radishes. And we know now that doozer constructions are just radishes, so...
Yeah.
They're a refined radish.
Yeah.
A process that they refuse to tell me.
Oh, so it's like the difference between eating, like, a processed potato chip, but I guess a real potato isn't that great for you either, so...
Yes, they are.
I mean...
Those are amazing for you.
Yeah.
They're like the only food that has all of the amino acids we need to not die.
Oh, okay, there you go.
It's like either eating an apple or one of those, like, fruit leather sticks that is, like, an apple flavor, kind of.
That's a good metaphor, yes. Simile.
We got there. So all of this leads Red to going into the garden to get a radish to prove that she's not scared. And then we get to see Junior Gorg, and he's messing around with his dad's crown. And then he sets it down, and his dad shows up, and he sits on it.
Squashed crown.
He wears the crown for a second. How do you think the crown stays on Junior's head? Is it Velcro?
The grace of God.
That was going to be my guess, either a Velcro or a magnet.
Velcro.
I don't know, lick your thumb and stick it on there.
There's probably a lot of metal in the head of the Junior Gorg puppet. You might be onto something there.
It feels like maybe it would be too heavy for Velcro, but I guess there's also maybe powerful Velcro.
Yeah.
I mean, also just like the crown it's like a very weak aluminum.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, okay, that's
what
true.
That prop
Not
is
like
made
a
of.
heavy crown. It's not structurally stable.
I didn't think it was actually made of like silver or gold. I thought maybe it was made of some kind of like a metal.
Yeah.
Probably, but probably like tin.
Fair.
So there's this really interesting exchange that I'm still kind of trying to figure out how I feel, because there's a couple of different layers around it. But he shows his dad the crown, and his dad goes, "How could you?" And Junior goes, "Oh, it was easy, actually." And then just sort of describes the step for accidentally sitting on a crown, which feels very neurodivergent.
Yeah.
But then Pa Gorg has this whole song about how his son's a dummy, and Junior just is like kind of happy that somebody's singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really feels like it's hitting the like too dumb to insult trope right after having him do a very neurodivergent thing, which like didn't feel great.
It is. I'm conflicted about this song because it's such a mean song.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Pa Gorg, I had forgotten until recent rewatches just how cruel he is really to Junior. Yeah. But it's also a really catchy song, and Junior seems perfectly happy to be singing along.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first, Junior's just kind of shrugging at, his dad insulting him again. and then he starts kind of bopping along and like, oh,
Right.
there's a pause here. I should insert some dum-dee-dum-dee-dum.
Yeah.
And then
They're
by the end of the
dancing,
song, he's
yeah.
just grooving, and he doesn't care anymore.
And the vibes of that are just so, like, imagine having a cruddy abusive parent who was also just like a really talented musician and like would release tracks about what a bad kid you were and what a bad child you were. And you'd be like,
Oh, no.
man, you know, feels
Just
bad.
putting out diss
but it's a
tracks
bop.
against their
But I
kid.
can't help myself. Yeah. Like,
That's just such an interesting vibe.
When I was grabbing the lyrics from the YouTube video that's, just Fraggle Rock songs and lyrics, the top comment was, "This is the most cheerful, upbeat child abuse I've ever heard."
that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pa is really a shining example of how to not parent your kid, especially like when your kid makes a mistake, you know,
Yeah.
to just immediately tell them that they're stupid to their face. But also with this song, I don't know if you remember, Beth, a handful of episodes back, was it, what is the song Junior sang, like, Dum-de-Dum 2?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the one, in that episode, I was like, does this song come back, but with a different song? And this is what I was thinking of, was
Yep,
that he's
yep,
doing
yep.
the
Oh.
underbit for Pa singing his song. This is what I was thinking of. I felt so vindicated when it popped up, and I was like, yes, this is what I had in mind.
So Junior has sung the Dum-de-Dum part previously.
Yeah, with a song of its own.
Yeah, because I thought the same thing, that this sounded familiar, but then I looked up this song on Muppet Wiki and it only listed it as being in this episode. But yes, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's sung a couple of different songs with a sort of marching dum-dee-dum kind of rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I also just, and it's one of those things that my brain won't let go of it, but a dummy for a son has the exact same meter as a horse, my kingdom for a horse. And I don't think that's on purpose. It just scratched my brain itch real good.
Nice.
There's a line where he says, "Come, someone, and take away my son." And I just wanted to cut to David Bowie going, "You rang, darling."
Oh.
Immediate left turn.
The difference is that Pa Gorg would not go through the labyrinth to get his son back.
No.
Right.
Ma Gorg would, though.
Yeah,
Junior would have a great time in the labyrinth, though.
He would.
He would. He would make a lot of good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some enemies that he didn't realize were enemies.
Oof.
He's the size of Ludo. They'd be buds.
Junior and Ludo hanging out. Oh, I need this to exist.
Somebody write this, like, soft friendship, platonic / fiction, please.
So we get the wrap up of this song, and Ma Gorg appears, and her and Pa have a date to is it the skunk cabbage patch? Is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I Googled. That is a real vegetable.
Oh.
Skunk cabbage actually exists, and it does smell bad.
I had no idea. I just thought,
It sounds like it could just be a Fraggle
yeah.
made up vegetable.
I mean, they have radishes, so
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
true.
that makes sense that they'd pull something else that exists, but all right.
The thing is, though, when they return, what Ma Gorg is carrying looks like neither cabbage nor the real honest-to-goodness skunk cabbage that exists in our world. So I'm thinking it might be a different plant with the same name.
Okay.
And then when they take off for their date, like Junior has to like make a huge ordeal about their leaving.
Announcing their departure,
Yeah.
yes.
Which involves him falling, not even to his knees, like all the way to the ground, bowing to them, because he says that all their loyal subjects have to do that, and he's their only loyal subject. Their child.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
It's wild.
It is, I mean, it is very much a commentary on that sort of, like, patriarchal, hyper-patriot, like, nationalist structures. Like, yeah, there's this need to feel like a king, but the only, like, actual area in which somebody of that mindset could potentially have any level of power is, like, a family structure, and that's because that's what the cultural norms are. And so it's like, oh, yeah, I'm the king of this tiny little thing, and I'm going to treat it like the most important thing ever, because if I don't, I'm going to feel even smaller, and I can't cope with being small.
Yeah, he needs that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, Ma Gorg does the queen wave as she's walking away, and it was really cute.
Yes.
Oh,
I noticed
nice.
that too.
I was just going to say that it will pop up more later in this episode, but I did write in my notes that Pa Gorg has big MAGA dad energy. Anyway.
Megadad?
MAGA.
MAGA Dad.
Oh, yes.
Yes. we'll get to the point of when I wrote that note. But yeah, just, I don't know. He reminds me of a lot of conservative people that we get to see in the news regularly, which is not fun.
He reminds me of a lot of conservative people that I have met and had to share space with.
Right.
Yes, that as well, unfortunately.
I will say that he does call Ma Gorg Duckykins for, I believe, the first time, but definitely not the last time.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. They have a lot of pet names for each other,
They
right?
have a lot of pet names for each other, but Duckykins is probably my favorite.
Okay.
So we get some interesting stuff because Junior's like, I gotta make it up to Daddy. I gotta make it up to Daddy. He like has a couple of ideas. I don't remember what the first one is, but he finally decides he's like, oh, I'm gonna just destroy that ugly rock that's messing up the garden. And Red, who's there trying to steal a radish, is like, oh, problem. Oh, problem.
Yeah, I think he even says it's the rock where the Fraggles come out.
Yeah.
And they consider Fraggles to be pests. So yeah, he's going to make his dad proud by destroying the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Wembley and Moki have gone up to the tunnel by outer space in search of steam lilies. Because Wembley swears he saw one. So we get more of the fauna of this world.
I want to see that.
I guess that's a lily that would grow on one of those pipes where the steam comes out.
I would assume.
That is my guess.
I bet probably it comes off as a very tropical style.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, Moki and Wembley see Sprocket trying to destroy the hole, and they scream and run off in terror to go find Gobo.
And Wembley bonks into a pipe.
Oh, yeah.
Twice.
Yes.
It's great. At first I was like, man, Gobo really is the leader. And then I was like, no, he's just the expert in the thing that's being a problem right now.
Yeah, he has the most experience with the hairy monster out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Gobo does some actually really quick delegating and problem solving. And he's like, yo, Red, like, I need you to take Boober and go handle the garden situation. I will take everyone else and go handle the outer space situation. And we get some just like peak Boober dialogue.
Yes. So the full quote, I think you gotta start a little earlier than that, because the first quote is, he says, I'm useless to you. I'm a quivering collection of the worst and least helpful emotions. Fear, anxiety, terror, paranoia, indigestion, dishpan hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
And he says it as he's kind of crossing around from the foreground to the background, and he stops and looks like right as he's passing in front of that little window to look down at his hands and say dishpan hands.
Oh, that's
It's
cute.
I
so
love the
cute.
timing of that. Yeah.
As Red is trying to shove him out the door.
Right. Because they got work to do.
It's interesting seeing them team up again so soon after Marooned.
Yeah.
I also I took note how in the previous scene where before she leaves the entrance to the Gorg's garden, when Junior's like bashing the hole and like bringing like parts of the entrance down, I was like, I feel like Red might have PTSD from the cave-in that she survived,
Mhm.
and the
yeah.
fact that then like she's teamed up with Boober and they go back. I don't know, it was so interesting because in the other episode, like, he's so calm and collected, and in this one he's just freaking out the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, he's got appearances to keep up.
It's true. And they're also not, like, suddenly stuck together in a cave-in where there's immediate, like, concern for death. You know, he can be more of his normal self, I suppose.
Yeah.
And also in Marooned, like, there was nothing they could have done in that situation.
That's true.
And in this situation, they quite literally, they have to do something.
And he gets frozen they kind of both get frozen with indecision for a while, but she has to make a choice at some point to do something.
Yeah.
And she does.
She does.
So Junior bashes and bashes, and he finally gets tired. And there's a cute little bit where Boober is like losing his mind, and he's like, Doom, Doom, and she's like, shh, and Junior goes, Boom? Who said that? Did I say that? I said that.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, I appreciate you.
There's also my second favorite Boober line in this episode is he says, I should have known we were going to die. Oh, actually, I guess it's Red has the punchline. Boober says, I can feel it in my bones. And Red says, keep your bones quiet and let me think.
Yeah.
It's such a great line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that Boober is mourning the things that are doomed. Everything's going to be destroyed. All the Fraggles, all my laundry.
End of list.
Is it really, though? I feel like Junior is just trying to destroy this one rock formation that serves as their means of access to the Gorgs garden. But it feels like Fraggle Rock is a very large location full of different caverns and tunnels. And I think even if Junior had succeeded, they would be kind of out of luck because they wouldn't have a way to go get those radishes, but they would still have the rest of Fraggle Rock.
Potentially. Cave-ins can spread. It's a whole thing, but yeah.
And I just assumed it was Boober being Boober and just looking at the absolute worst case scenario.
Well, that's true. Yeah, he's just, he jumped straight to the worst possible assumption.
I forgot there was a little bit cutting back to Sprocket hammering away, and there's a box perched on a shelf above him that his knocking causes the box to fall and bonks him on the head, and he passes out. And, that gives the opportunity, Gobo's like, well, that took care of that, eh? You go stay here in case that thing wakes up and starts to try anything, and I'll go see how Red and Boober are. So they're like, okay, that's, one disaster taken care of, at least for the time being.
It's a really quick solve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't even have to do anything. Yeah, they just had to wait until he made the box fall on his own head.
Knocked himself out.
Sometimes problems will solve themselves, and that's pretty cool.
Sometimes.
But back in the Gorg Garden, so Junior assumes that Boober's doom was him saying boom, and then he realizes that he's gonna go get his daddy's boomsticks, which begs the question, how do the Gorgs have dynamite?
Yeah!
You can distill saltpeter from up to 50 gallons of urine.
No offense to the Gorgs, maybe some offense to the Gorgs. I don't think that they don't strike me as creatures that would understand how to create dynamite.
That's fair. Maybe they bought it.
At least these three.
Maybe they inherited it.
Maybe, because, the crown was referenced as being given to Pa by his great-great-great-grandpa, so
yeah,
maybe it's just been around. Maybe they have a stash of it.
That dynamite has been in the family for generations.
Oh.
Does dynamite go bad over time?
It sweats.
I'm trying to think. There's some movie I've seen where characters encounter old dynamite and they have to handle it very carefully.
Lost.
You're thinking Lost?
Season 1 of Lost.
Oh, that's it, yes.
Like season 3, I think.
No, it was season 1, because that's how they get to the hatch at the very end of season 1. Lost is my favorite show of all time.
There you go. I knew I could count on this crowd.
Isn't there the bit in season 3 where what's-his-name accidentally blows himself up with the dynamite with the diamonds thing? And
that's the end of season 1. I do remember that.
No, but that's the one with the two people who wind up burying themselves alive over a bunch of diamonds.
That's later, but they get buried alive because they paralyze themselves. Anyway,
yeah.
I haven't watched Lost in years, but I have a lot of feelings towards that show. That is later in the show, but so I don't know. I don't know how long dynamite can last. It does sweat, and you do have to be really careful with it. But the Gorgs have it, and Junior decides he's gonna blow up the entrance to Fraggle Rock with it.
I was thinking that boomstick is usually kind of like old-timey slang for a gun rather than dynamite. And I Googled it just to make sure. And I did confirm that it's usually a gun. But one of the first results when I did that Google search for boomstick was Boom by Cindy Joseph Cosmetics, Boomstick, Boom Makeup Sticks for older women and mature skin. So maybe if Junior had tried using one of those, he would have had more success.
Possibly. He does like to look pretty.
He does.
Yes.
So Boober's like, Red, I'm gonna go get Gobo. Don't be afraid. And Red yells after him, I'm not afraid. Tell Gobo I'm not afraid.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really lovely, next step on Red's journey after Marooned, because she was able to admit to Boober in that particular situation that she experiences fear.
Mm-hmm.
But now, we're seeing that she still really struggles with that, with Gobo in particular, because of their dynamic. And then we get this really sweet little song called Afraid to Be Afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Which I really like the framing of. This song did not grab me until that line, and that line I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. It also made me think about, because they're doing something that's essentially a job, and this, I guess, there's sort of a stigma about showing your feelings or showing your emotions in the workplace. So that's kind of what Red is experiencing here. She doesn't want to show too much of her feelings lest her coworkers judge her.
Oh, I thought that was just her personality. I thought this was just Red being like, no, I'm a big, strong Fraggle who doesn't afraid of anything.
It's that too, but, When you're taking notes on an episode like this, you got to really reach for stuff. So
That's very true.
Well, as long as we're reaching, Fraggle workplace dynamics don't seem to be the same as ours because they don't have capitalism, so they're not driven by the same motivators that we are.
that's true.
I have so much leisure time. I say, yawning.
I also feel like there's a slight difference between afraid to be afraid and afraid to be seen being afraid.
Yeah. Afraid that other people will know that you have flaws and the capacity for fear.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, I think Red is going through both of those things.
Yeah. And then we get this great little moment of... they've shown a lot of, unnecessary but delightful world building using the doozers. In this case, we get a doozer saying, "Okay, hoist me up." And his buddy's like, hoisting away. And his little platform car thing that he's standing on just gets lifted up into the air by a crane.
Yeah, a doozer and a car. Just, yeah. And it doesn't really serve a purpose. They're just showing off. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
They show off so much on this show.
Yes.
It's great.
It's great.
There's so much just great little moments. We get one of the things that I really like about this show is that they have a very realistic depiction of emergencies. Because communication in an emergency situation is always a hot mess.
Yeah.
And one of the most frustrating things in movies is that everybody just like knows the right thing to do and knows who to talk to and they know what the other people are doing too. And it's like, unless you've got somebody coordinating this, nobody knows what anybody else is doing. And so Gobo goes out to look for Red because Red didn't tell anybody that she was going to move the dynamite because there was nobody for her to tell. So Boober and Gobo get back. Red's not there. Gobo makes a perfectly logical call to go out looking for her, and then Red gets back after he leaves and is like, "No, it's fine. I moved the dynamite." And Boober goes, "Oh, but Gobo's out there." And the whole thing feels very natural, and the same sort of natural that, like, I don't know, as someone who's been in some mild emergency situations, boy, howdy, that one fits.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And even before that, when Gobo first shows up, he and Boober quite literally run into each other. They just go bonk and hit the ground, and then they both start talking at once over each other, and then they both pause at the same time to let the other one speak, and then they do it again. And
oh, I have that too, actually. Yeah, that kind of miscommunication, that specific kind where it's just two people kind of awkwardly talking, and then like working their way out of it. You don't see that in shows or TV or movies very often at all.
They're kind of both trying to talk over each other, and then finally they realize that they're both essentially saying the same thing, which is that Gobo has to go help Red.
Like, you see people talking over each other sometimes, but you don't see, like, that get resolved.
Right.
And I have a theory that contributes a lot to a lot of social anxiety. Because the stories that we watch, the stories that we imbibe, have people saying, like, I've said this in other areas, but I firmly believe that the biggest lie that ever gets told in movies and television is that when one person says something, the other person knows what they mean. Because that's not how it is in the real world.
Yeah.
And so people just sort of assume that that's how it's going to go, and then there's a hot mess, or they go, oh, but I don't know what they mean. It could have been a bunch of other things. I must be broken.
Unless it's an episode of Three's Company, in which one person is saying something innocuous and the other person interprets it to have something to do with sex.
Yeah. And, like, there's exceptions, but on the whole, it's just ridiculously absent.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so it was really nice to see.
Yeah, you're right. Like, shows are great at giving us, miscommunication for comedic effect, but they're a lot less skilled at resolving it in a satisfying way where the people who originally miscommunicated now have talked it through and know how to communicate with each other better from here on out. That almost never happens.
Whoa, I've been brought from beyond the veil, and suddenly my audio is so much better. What an amazing experience. Oh, the things I've seen. David Bowie was there.
Had we had to pull the Zoom audio before for episodes? Has that happened yet?
No, not once.
Never, not once.
Cool. Gonna be a nice test, Beth.
First time for everything.
Exactly.
Ryan, wasn't it you who you recorded an episode and you had to recreate your side of the conversation?
I was just about to say that, and then I decided nobody wants to hear that. But yes, I did
I'll hear it.
an entire episode of the podcast on the Muppets 2015 sitcom where I don't even remember how I don't think I ever figured out why it happened, but I ended up with the entire episode of the guest's audio, but my audio stopped after like 5 seconds.
Ooh.
So, and I didn't want to, it wasn't like a personal friend, so I didn't want to ask the guest to just do the entire episode over again. So I just, I re-recorded all of my parts of the conversation and tried to make it sound as spontaneous as possible. And redid the whole episode. It's out there.
That's awesome.
It's the one with Eric Adams, if you want to go seek it out.
Oh, right, yeah. I remember being so impressed, because you couldn't tell.
Thanks, I'm glad.
Truthfully.
I should have just not told anybody, and then I could see if anyone noticed.
Yeah.
You should have sat on it for a year and then told people.
Yeah. Too late.
So yeah, Red, then there's an explosion. Does the explosion happen before she ties Junior's shoes together?
No. So, okay.
That happens
so
later.
First, there's this great little moment where Junior says, I almost forgot. Daddy says I should always wear a helmet before I blow anything up. And so he goes to get this helmet, which is a colander. And he says, okay, helmet, get ready for the big one. And I was like, wow, Junior really has no friends. He's talking to his helmet. And
if I had infinite time on my hands, I would do a supercut of every TV show and movie where somebody wears a colander on their head as a helmet or a hat. Or
there you go.
There would be a lot.
I feel like it does. Yeah, like Ghostbusters, where they put the colander on Rick Moranis' head with all the wires attached to it. I know there are other examples out there.
Yeah. Also, Red gets that dynamite into the Gorgs castle. Maybe it's just we didn't get the full scope of the time, but it feels like she moved it very far, very fast.
Very far, very
for
fast.
A little Fraggle.
Because we see a shot of the fuse burning, and the dynamite is right there on the ground.
The dynamite is as big as she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so 2 things. 1, she knows that Ma and Pa are gone, so she doesn't have to hide. 2, proportional strength is way easier when you're tiny.
Huh.
Okay, but then later in the exact same episode, she's having trouble lifting a thing.
Oh.
That's true.
The radish? Yeah.
Well, no, the big piece of debris that falls on Gobo.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. She was also... Wait, am I remembering the right episode? Wasn't she trying to pull a radish at some point and couldn't...
She was, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. Different part of the episode. Yeah. You're right, though, Beth, correct. It just seemed like it wasn't even that she couldn't pick the dynamite up. It just, she moved it very far, very quickly was something that I noted, but I wasn't sure if we just were, the fuse was really long, so she did have a fair amount of time, but time seemed a little wibbly wobbly.
Yeah.
As well.
Dramatic license.
And yeah, the dynamite goes off and Junior's castle gets exploded and also a big piece of debris, does land on Gobo and knocks him out, and he is trapped underneath the part of the castle. And Boober and Red go to help him, and they can't get the piece off of him. Our
first glimpse of that is the miniature Gobo puppet, and he really does look dead. It's very unsettling.
He does.
It is a frightening vibe.
It's a really impressive explosion, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like they actually blow out the window of the castle.
Just like rubble and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
They had one shot to do that perfectly.
I'm sure. Yeah.
When does Red tie Junior's shoes together?
That's a little later.
So they're trying to get the thing off of Gobo, and they can't do it, so Boober says, I'm gonna go get Moki and Wembley, and runs off. But then he gets caught by Junior, and that's when Red ties the shoelaces.
Gotcha.
Yep. Now, here's a real important moment when Junior is going after Boober. So, Junior looks at first and sees that Fraggle Rock is not blown up, and then he looks behind him and sees, oh no, it's the castle that got blown up. Now Pa will really kill me. And when he sees Boober, he says, oh, come back here, you little Fraggle. It's because of you and your dumb old rock I'm in real trouble with my daddy. And then when he catches Boober, he says, now I'm gonna thump you the way my daddy's gonna thump me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dang. They just straight up said, hey, here's the cycle of abuse.
Yep.
Right.
Hurt people. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's thumping Boober with the rake. He catches Boober, and Red, thinking very quickly, ties his shoes together and then yells something so that he goes to try to take a step and figure out who's yelling, and then falls over.
Is this where she calls him Pumpkin Face or something like that?
Yes.
Hey, Pumpkin Face.
Which it felt slightly out of place to me, because it sounds like an adorable nickname.
Oh, come here, pumpkin face.
Pumpkin face.
Honestly, I was gonna say it sounds like a B-list Batman villain.
Ooh,
Yeah.
could be.
It's me, pumpkin face. Don't we also have the Scarecrow? No, don't think about him. Feel me. No. What's your superpower? I get moldy. Anyways,
He turns every food into pumpkin spice flavor.
there we go. That
My
sounds like a great
favorite
superpower.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's too like he can be very villainous because humans are made out of meat, so he can just make a person pumpkin spice flavored.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Just like how Jesus can make people explode into wine balls
That's
because it was 70% water.
that's exactly what it says in the Bible.
Yep, he can turn water into
Jesus
wine.
can make
He could have if he wanted to.
into wine balls.
Yeah.
It's strongly implied.
It's called reading the subtext, Beth. Come on,
Got it.
Petra.
Right. Yes, of course.
This is what I was told until the age of 13 when I was Catholic. Anyway,
Oh, that's the problem. I didn't go to Catholic
I
school.
did.
You missed out on such good trauma-related humor
Yeah.
and such bad trauma.
But yeah, Junior drops Boober, and then Boober and Red go back to Gobo, and Gobo has started.
Real quick, there's a great little bit
Yes.
where Red's like, "Boober, are you okay?" And he just goes, "No," and then they just keep going.
That's
I
very
love
good.
that so much.
But Gobo is like starting to speak in. He's not speaking in his sleep. He's knocked out, but he's like starting to come to and speaking. And he's speaking to his uncle Matt about how scared he is, and wants his uncle to sing him the song "Muck and Goo" from his childhood. Which then Boober's like, "Red, sing the song," and she does. And we get a couple of little flashbacks to baby Gobo and also baby Junior.
Yeah, which I guess they must have built a smaller Junior Gorg head for that shot because it is like baby size proportional to Pa. I think they use it again
Yeah.
in the series, but that's cool.
It's also huge still.
Still a very large head.
It is.
Yeah.
I also, and here's the interesting thing for me, this means that both cultures have this song.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I had that thought.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, like, which came first? Do they have different variants? How did that happen? Because we haven't seen them making music together very often. We've seen it, I think, once, maybe twice total.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the two cultures are not as different as they think.
I mean, they're also just like, there must have been some kind of exchange of information at some point. There must have been some kind of like, or they both got it from the same, like, other different species. It's.
Yeah, if there was like a traveling, I mean, something like Cantus and the Minstrels, maybe there was some kind of traveling musician who taught everybody the song a long time ago.
Maybe.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a 1-2 buckle my shoe kind of thing, just these kind of silly rhyming lines. So it starts, give me 1 and give me 2, cover me with muck and goo. Okay, fine. Give me 3 and give me 4, cover me with guck and gore? No thanks.
Right?
First of all, I don't know what guck is supposed to be. But if I'm a baby, I don't want my parents singing to me about being covered with gore.
Check out the normie babies over here. Nah, dude. Goth babies start early.
On the other hand, we do sing Baby's Rockabye Baby, which is about a child falling out of a tree. So I guess it's
We
not
also
so far
sing
removed.
Ring Around the Rosie, which is about the Black Plague.
The bubonic plague.
There's a whole book about how, nursery rhymes mostly come from like horrible things.
Oh yeah, It's Raining, It's Pouring is about an old guy who dies.
Yeah, okay. So I guess, again, our cultures are not so different from the Fraggles and the Gorgs.
No, they're not.
So I do think it's worth noticing that, so we get this, I don't know if it's an entirely new Junior puppet, but it's definitely at least a new Junior head, and he's got this adorable baby bonnet. But the baby Gobo puppet is just Gobo in his little tank top and a jughead looking hat.
Sorry, you haven't. There hasn't been an episode yet with a flashback to a younger Gobo.
Not yet.
Okay, so they will reuse this puppet again later.
Yeah, so this one, I mean, I don't know if like the puppet department just didn't know that they were gonna have a younger Gobo until the last minute, and they were like, slap a different hat on him. And then, Jerry Nelson, pro that he is, makes Gobo sound and look like a much younger Fraggle. Like, the way that Gobo moves is totally different.
Oh, so you're saying it's not even a new puppet?
No, it looks exactly the same. Like, the size looks the same.
I didn't pay close enough attention.
They just put a different hat on him and said, Jerry, go do your thing.
Yeah.
Also, Matt is wearing, like, a white button-up shirt and, like, a vest. It's very, like, silly creature-looking kind of clothes. Like, a lot of buttons.
That's how he used to dress before he went out to explore the world.
I guess so. I mean, he also has explorer clothes and like a safari hat, so his clothes are all very reminiscent of the silly creatures, but I guess that makes sense because he is out in the world and he finds them so fascinating. And also he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt now, so he's just has the best wardrobe.
Yep.
Uncle Matt fashion.
Oh, yeah. So the Gorgs come home, and they immediately freak out because their stuff's blown to heck, and they assume that there's been an attack, and Junior helped defend the castle, and this just proves that it's aggressively easy to lie to, like, warmongering patriots as long as you feed them some kind of story that feeds into their perceived worldview, and that's why so many people grift conservatives.
Right, it's the narrative that they want, so they are immediately convinced of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is where I made the note about Pa Gorg. It feels very reminiscent of current mindsets of some folks about how they're constantly looking at others and making enemies out of them when they're just being, fed lies, and it's just like so embedded in their systems that they're constantly thinking that they're gonna be attacked and that their homes and... Is Pa Gorg also holding a gun in this point?
Yes,
he is. Yeah. Well, they run into the castle when they discover that it's been blown up, and then he comes running out, like, wearing armor and holding a gun.
A gun, which that probably also really drove it home for me, where I was like, oh, he's bringing out the gun, so that, it just planted a flag in it. The picture that it's painting.
And Ma has a rolling pin. She's gonna beat somebody up, too.
She's ready.
I do think it's worth noting that when they think that the castle's been attacked, Pa is worried about his castle, and Ma is worried about her son.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That says a lot.
I did notice that those were each of their first concerns. Do we see them with a gun again at any point?
Yes, Pa.
Yeah, I think we do see Pa with a gun again.
Specifically, his blunderbuss.
It's a blunderbuss.
That's so strange, because for whatever reason, like, them having dynamite, a part of me is like, okay, that's... Maybe
it's a little more cartoony somehow. Dynamite
I guess draw it to the Muppets. It's like Crazy Harry has dynamite and he just blows everyone up, and it's like, okay, it's violence, but it's so over the top that you're able to almost divorce yourself from it. But like him coming out with a gun, it's like, this is Fraggle Rock. Why does a character have a gun?
Yeah,
that was the part that surprised me, but maybe the most.
I guess good for Junior for immediately seeing how he can turn their misconception into a way of making them, like, not mad at him and even proud of him, even though it's really sad that that's how it has to happen.
I mean, no, always lie to your boss. Always lie to the ruling class. They don't deserve the truth.
Yeah, I guess that's the lesson.
For a character who had a whole song about how dumb he was sung in this same episode, it's a very smart move on his part.
Yeah. And then spends a good chunk of, the last several minutes thinking that he's gonna get his butt handed to him.
He's smarter under pressure.
And so that gets resolved and all the Fraggles head in, and there's this great line where Gobo turns to Red and he's like, oh, sorry. They sing to Gobo. Gobo wakes up and they're bringing him back to Fraggle Rock, and he turns to Red and he goes, hey, you're forgetting my radishes.
And they laugh about it.
And it's just this great little, like, I don't know if you've ever been in a moment where, like, things were, like, actually serious and then somebody cracked a joke you needed so that you could laugh about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very real.
On another type of 1980s TV show, that would have been like freeze frame roll credits on it.
Yeah.
Everybody laughing on that line.
It is worth noting that there's a little bit of follow through where we find out that, it's a good thing that nothing happened to that rock, which apparently it's Kissing Rock.
Mm-hmm.
The traditional spot for the first loving kiss between Gorgs. Why, some night when the moon is full, then you'll have your first kiss too here, Junior. I'm like, what?
With who? With who is he gonna kiss?
That's the question.
we've already talked about this in previous episodes about, like, where did Ma Gorg come from? How did they meet?
It seems like they do expect there to be either other Gorgs or just other entities out there, because they are so quick to assume that some enemy has come along and bombed their castle.
Yeah.
And now they're saying that they're so certain that Junior's going to have a kiss with somebody at the Kissing Rock someday. Yeah, they apparently seem to think, whether it's true or not, that there are some other species or other civilizations of Gorgs out there.
That's fair.
See, I was just over here thinking, like, man, I wish the rules of human relationships were that clear and concrete.
Just hang out by this rock and you'll have your first kiss.
This is where your first kiss happens.
Yeah.
That is the rule.
Yeah, that makes it easy.
It reminds me of when I was working for Boys and Girls Club, and there were a couple of second graders who were whispering that, like, she was swinging at the same height as him, so that meant that she had to KISS him.
That's so cute and ridiculous.
Right. I was like, oh, I love the rules that kids make up about what grown-up behaviors must be like.
Yeah, or like if you sit next to somebody on the school bus, that means you're going to get married or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. A classic.
I just had this thought. I wonder if the Fraggle Rock people ever considered making, like, you know how on dinosaurs there were a few of those dinosaur puppets who they would just kind of recycle and change facial features and change costumes, and they would play different characters in different episodes. I wonder if they ever considered making a Gorg-size puppet, or like a whatnot Gorg or an anything Gorg that they could just redress and have it come in and play different characters who would visit the Gorgs at their castle.
Fascinating.
I have no idea if they ever considered that, but that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the very last segment with Doc and Sprocket, there's just one other thing I want to note, which made me pause my computer and say some profanity, was that Junior says the line to his father, "Hey, Daddy, does Ma kiss good?" Which,
and then he keeps asking.
Yeah, he really wants to know.
Does he, Daddy? Does she?
Which, you know, I mean, Junior doesn't have anybody his age, and presumably, I mean, we don't know, but to the best of our knowledge, he's never met anyone outside of, I guess, the Fraggles, maybe the Trash Heap. We don't know about that. He's really only had his mom and dad, and so, you know, that's his only source of knowledge, I guess, on this subject. It's still such a weird thing to ask your parents.
Yeah, it's very weird. There is a little moment where Red kind of marvels at this discovery that the Gorgs consider that rock to be sacred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if this was just kind of the writer's way of justifying why the Gorgs never try to destroy this rock.
Yeah.
Again,
I think so.
Because they hate the Fraggles. The Fraggles are such pests, and this is where the Fraggles come in and cause trouble in their garden. But if by establishing that this is the sacred traditional Gorg spot, then now it's protected.
Yep.
It's a better reason than Doc just being like, I'll board up that hole one day, and then just going 5 seasons without thinking to board it up.
Yeah. It would have probably been harder to contrive a reason why the hole in the wall is a special sacred place for Doc.
So this is my special thinking spot.
Something like that.
I like that we get this moment with Red where she can finally admit to Gobo, like, I was so frightened, and I was so worried about you. And they hug, and it's great. And I also like that there was a little moment before when, you know, Boober is getting Gobo's help, and he says, something, I can't find it, but something like, oh, don't worry about Red. She's at her best when she's impulsive. And I'm like, tell her that, my dude.
Yeah.
Like, tell your friends what you think their strengths are when they're actually around.
Yeah, that's legit.
Yeah.
But I thought it was nice that I think she felt comfortable saying to Gobo that she was afraid, because while he was unconscious, he was like, I'm scared, Uncle Matt. And she looks up and goes, scared?
Right.
Like, as if, oh, wait, Gobo can be scared too?
Yeah, she's like, oh, you can just do that. You can just tell your friends that you're scared.
The last bit that we have is just about Doc and Sprocket, which is a pretty simple wrap-up where Doc comes in, he sees Sprocket on the floor, because Sprocket's been knocked unconscious, and he's like, oh, you're catching a little snooze. And at first I was going to judge Doc, but dogs like to sleep in the most random places sometimes. So I was like, yeah, if I came in and a dog was just on the floor, I'd be like,
Yeah.
That's where they decided to sleep.
But then he notices, like, oh no, you've got a bump on your head. You know, what happened? And Sprocket shows him this.
He actually notices.
Yeah, he actually notices that his dog is in pain. And he finds this box called Stuff to Remember. And boy, howdy.
What else do you think was in that box?
His social security card, his keys,
Yeah, probably.
A couple of love letters.
Everything else that he loses.
everything else. The other day I found my bedroom slippers on the kitchen counter next to the butter.
Okay.
So I get it.
Yeah, sure. Well, you need a stuff to remember box to put the butter and the slippers in.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Don't put the butter in another container either. Just put it in there loose. It'll be fine.
Just a
Trust
stick
me.
of butter.
So a couple of notes on the international versions.
Well, wait, but what is actually in the box? It's the rent money.
Oh!
It's the rent money.
Yeah, it's the rent money.
It's the rent money.
Doc gets to pay his rent, and he gets to stay in the workshop.
Yeah.
Which is good, because he starts saying, like, oh, it's good, money's going to be tight to his dog.
He's worried.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it all got resolved.
Maybe it's implied there that Sprocket's going to have to get a job to help pay the rent.
Oof, I'd love that spinoff. Sprocket out in the real world doing manual labor.
Yeah.
Well, we know he loves fetching the newspaper, so maybe he'd make a good, paper delivery dog.
Oh, he would. Yeah, he really would. And we would get to see Sprocket riding a bike, which would be great.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
so adorable.
You were going to say the international versions, Beth?
Yes. So in the UK version, the captain is building a model lighthouse and becomes increasingly irritated by Sprocket's constant barking at Gobo. It also doesn't help matters when Sprocket knocks over his lighthouse and smashes a few plates when hammering the hole bigger. Okay, so same basic concept of Sprocket trying to get into the hole to Fraggle Rock. And in the German version, the scenes with Doc and Sprocket are nearly identical to the Canadian version, but Sprocket is more specific when he tries to describe Gobo to Doc at the start, indicating that he has a tail. Yeah. How should we make the world a little fragglier?
Sometimes being vulnerable with your friends allows them the comfort to be vulnerable with you.
I think also just don't insult your friends in the first place, and then you won't have these terrible adventures that you have to go on.
That's true.
If you're in some kind of industrial accident that causes a lot of property damage, convince your boss that there was actually an external attack and you are a hero for trying to save as much as you did.
And if anyone does that, they should write in and let you know that advice actually came in handy.
But we won't say
Yes.
anything. We'll just read it and be happy
Oh,
because
no,
we're not
yeah,
nuts.
no.
Yeah. We'll keep it anonymous.
It'll make us delightedly tickled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ryan.
Well,
Of
Beth
course.
hasn't done one.
Right, I'm
Beth
so
hasn't
sorry.
done one
I was
yet.
gonna say, I felt like I did one earlier. Like I said, like, hey, do a thing, and then now it's left my head, so I might just pluck it from earlier in the episode and plop it right here.
Fair.
Like, tell your friends what you think their strengths are when they're actually around.
That's the perk of being the editor.
Hey.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Ryan.
Yes, thank you for having me. I deliberately chose an episode that when you offered this one up, I went for this one because it's not one that I was super familiar with. So it was interesting to approach it and try to think about it,
Oh, cool.
without having watched it a million times before.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, and come back anytime.
Oh, I will.
We were very happy to have you.
Thank you.
We have 4 more seasons of episodes to go through.
Yeah.
Plenty of opportunities. I've been on your podcast a number of times.
I think once every season, right?
I believe so, yeah.
And there were 2 consecutive seasons where you were like the last guest on one season, followed by being the first guest on the next
I
season.
was.
So.
I was the
wow.
last for
Yeah.
Muppets Take Manhattan and the first for Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Which, in our time, I don't know when this episode is dropping, a special bonus episode of Moving Right Along has just come out, which is, such a delight.
Yes, inside Jim Henson Records.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and also a little bit about Moving Right Along and where we can find you?
Yeah, well, so the new bonus episode, I'll try to say this concisely. We did a bonus episode about an obscure album from 1994 called Kermit Unpigged, which is just the Muppets in a recording studio doing a bunch of duets with celebrities. And in that episode, we speculated about a lot of things and asked a lot of questions about how did this come to be. And a few days after that episode was posted, we got a message from the co-producer of the album who also happened to have been the founder of the Jim Henson Records label.
Wow.
And by the way, he later went on to be the director of music at 20th Century Fox. So basically any major movie by 20th Century Fox from like the 80s through mid to late 2000s that you've ever heard of, he was involved in, including Titanic and Avatar.
Dang.
And huge things like that. And he wanted to talk to us about Kermit Unpicked. So
Dang.
yeah, that was a somewhat surreal experience, but made for a fun episode.
Yeah.
That's out there. And then normally what we do on that podcast is we watch Muppet movies 2 minutes at a time and talk about them a lot. At some point in the near-ish future, we'll be starting on Muppet Treasure Island, so you can keep an eye out for that.
Heck yes.
Beth and Julia, do you want to say where people can find you?
People can find me at Geek Girl Grown Up on Instagram, juliagaskill.com if they happen to like some poetry, and then I am occasionally a writer for ToughPigs.
And you can find me at Beth Anna Cook on social media. That's Anna with 2 N's, and also occasionally writing for ToughPigs.
You can find me in a traffic jam listening to a podcast, very frustrated.
Aw.
You can also find me there usually too.
Oh, was that your car that I saw? That
Yeah,
one car?
the green Subaru.
Yeah, with the license plate.
Well, it's a good thing that there are podcasts.
Amen to that. So, reminder to check out toughpigs.com, and let me try that again.
Oh man, I forgot to.
Phenomena. I'll stop.
All right, reminder to check out toughpigs.com, give us a good review, and thank you for listening. We will see you next time.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk.
I just realized I forgot to say what the other instance of a character putting their hand in the other character's mouth was, and that is when Boober is freaking out and Red tries to cover his mouth and ends up putting her hand in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That was
right. That was a very good moment.
Okay.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by ToughPigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk.
Shall we get started?
Let's get started.
Let's get it started, huh? Let's get it started
Let's get
in
it
here.
started. In here? Yeah.
And Red keeps running and 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 running. Lose the Gorg. I don't have anything other than
I
that.
wondered how far you were going to go with that.
I realized that like lose the Gorg would hit with lose control really nicely, but then I was like, oh, all I have is Cyborg, so that's gone. This bit's over.